Hello, Mr. Shears.
Good morning,
Oh, do you know,
afternoon, evening.
I feel like I've been sent back to 2020 again,
It
doing
is.
doing
It's
Zooms in the comfort of my own home. I've been locked down.
2020 revisited, isn't it?
Oh,
I'm back in the office
oh,
while you're at home.
recuperating.
It's it's reared its ugly head again, hasn't it? The C word.
It's rife. If you're odd now, you don't have it.
Yeah, it seems to be the end thing at the moment. It seems to be
Yeah,
ripping through the schools, ripping through blinking businesses. Like I say, it's actually taking us out here, isn't it? But well, at least everyone's fitting well. I think that's the plus side of it. But what are 2 years? We are literally. Is it 2 years tomorrow? When is the 23rd of March?
so I don't. I have a feeling, even though I'm wearing a rugby top, that we were going to go to a Cardiff City Leeds game, and Scotland were playing that weekend as well against Wales. So it was around that time. I don't know the
Yeah, we
date,
were
but I
going to
know
go to the
those
rugby, weren't we? It was that weekend.
games were on.
I'm sure
And
it was something. It was around about the 20th of March, 2020. So like 2 years ago, and we're kind of back to square one.
yeah, the
Oh,
only good thing is, considering the way I was last November with bout one and bout two now, there's no comparison. It is totally different chalk and cheese, but it still disrupts things. It still means isolation for a while. It still means messing up a business and stuff, and that it's hard sometimes to be able to continuously pivot and adapt when things are thrown at you like that.
it is though, isn't it? You know, like if you think some of the hits we've had over the last 2 years with various things, and you kind of think you have a break from it. Nope, there it comes again. It's like chicken pox. We had a chicken pox outbreak in our family. What was that? 2 weeks ago, and we thought, yep, happy days, back to it now. And then this hits, and you've got to be pretty resilient. And I think, in fairness, we kind of have been. We'll be able to write a hell of a book about this
There'll
in
be many
the
chapters. There'll be
in,
many chapters. It
in the
it
future.
does show that prior to all of this stuff, prior to kind of, I'm going to use the March 2020 as the kind of the start date of the new world. But prior to all of this, business owners or entrepreneurs always had to be, and I don't think they were, um, be seen as or act as special creatures, because the amount of, let's say, adaptability is adaptability and bounce back ability you have to have as an entrepreneur prior to the new world forming in March 2020. People didn't know about, but doing it now, you just have to be willing to change at a moment's notice, because all of a sudden this thing can just impact on you, your business, and your family life and everything in a matter of minutes. It's crazy. So as entrepreneurs, we have to be I don't know if the word resilient, but you have to be very, very thick-skinned,
Adaptable.
adaptable. That is a superb word.
And I think a little bit as well, you've just got to look at it, and as we are pretty good at, is can't control it. You just got to get on with it, haven't you? Because
You can't control it. No, I totally agree. But I think some people will have the ability to be able to pivot and adapt, and do that on a regular basis, and some may not. And I suppose that all depends on, the way you're brought up, your attitudes, your behaviors, and all of that. But I think the entrepreneur has to be almost on a, is it a sixpence now, and be willing to know that. I suppose you use, is it a rugby analogy or something? Know that there's a hit going to come in, and you have to be willing to be able to take that hit and turn as you're taking the hit, and ride the challenge and all that. That seems to be what an entrepreneur in this world has to be able to do now, knowing I know it's going to happen at some stage. I have to continuously push forward for that try line, but I know at some stage I'm going to get smashed or hit, and I have to be able to adapt and overcome that and continue to go on.
yeah, and I think for any entrepreneurs listening out there, it just kind of resonates for them that, like, you're not alone. This happens to everyone. You know, however long established your business is, however long you've been doing what you're doing, these hits will come, and you've just got to kind of learn to get back up and keep fighting, because they will keep happening, whether
Yeah.
it's the C word, or what's going on abroad at the moment. They all these things will happen. We can't control them. We don't know when they're going to come. We've just got to learn to ride the wave, really, haven't we?
I suppose it's totally inappropriate just the week that's gone to say that the best at adapting and riding the non-challenges maybe the Italians, because they can run from 70 yards out. But anyways, we'll leave that there.
Yeah, we're not going into that. That's that's another political thing, but we won't go into that. Yeah, no, it's it's interesting. I think there's just so much going on out there at the moment. I think we all have taken a battering over the last 2 years, and I think there's more to come. And you've just got to suck it up and keep going and just adapt as best you can. But I get it why people get annoyed and frustrated. And don't get me wrong, I've had my moments of late, but you've sometimes just got to sit back and go, look, I can't control it. I've just got to do what I can do. And as I always go back to, you can only control the controllables, control the things you can do, so you control how you react to it. Do you know what I mean? And there's no point, as they say, in crying over spilt milk. It is what it is. You've got COVID. Claire's got COVID, and yeah, it does cause a problem for the business, but we've adapted. And I say, luckily, you two, like last time, you two weren't particularly well off the back of it, but this time, I think it's effectively just like a little bit of hay fever in it at the moment, and you guys are doing the best you can, so which is kind of fine. So which is good. So yeah, and we'll be all back together. It'd be just very nice, though, I think, as we've said, to maybe go through a whole month without some sort of interruption.
Yeah,
that's all I ask for. Just 1 month.
Yeah, it's very true. Do you know I've noticed on the side of me here, this one, and down
Yoda.
here? No, that's Grogu. Well, it can
it?
be baby Yoda. It can be baby Yoda, or it can be Grogu.
Okay.
He has got the name Grogu, but doesn't that just show that I suppose all the stuff we're talking about, adaptability, and that size doesn't matter in this world anymore, because that little fella can do anything he wants to when he puts his mind to it. And I suppose isn't that what the world should be doing? If you put your mind to it now, in all that's happening in the world, it's not about it's to a degree physical strength or how big you are anymore. It's about how resilient and how adaptable you are. And Grogu is probably a prime example of that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think, and it is a skill to be resilient and adaptable. I think whether people agree with that or not, because some people are not. Some people will take all the hits and just keep taking them in, and it will affect them. And if that is you, that's the time to go and speak to someone. Open up to somebody and see if someone can kind of help you and kind of work through it. Like, we're pretty lucky in business; we get to bounce ideas off each other, which not every business owner is, because they're generally solo entrepreneurs. I think there's a larger proportion of that, but they don't have that ability to bounce ideas off and share the pains. But yeah, it's being resilient. But I think for anyone out there, if you are struggling in business or anything, just speak to somebody. Reach out. Someone will always be there. No one's ever going to turn you down to reach out and have a chat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there needs to be a lot of coping strategies now, because as entrepreneurs, we do things that others wouldn't do, and you get it wrong at times, because that's the whole idea of being an entrepreneur. You're doing something that someone else wouldn't have thought of, or wouldn't have the energy to try and attempt, and sometimes that doesn't work. And throw into the mix the feeling that it doesn't work and being unsuccessful, along with all of this that's going on in the world. There are going to be times when it's okay to be okay, that the entrepreneurs will feel a bit deflated and down, and exactly like you said, feel the need to reach out to somebody, because it's a tough job at times.
Yeah, it could be a lonely place, can it? And
Yeah.
And I think, to an extent, unless you've been in there, it is hard to kind of comprehend it. Do you know what I mean? And not taking anything away from anyone who's employed or, in that sort of scenario, but it's a totally different beast when you are self-employed and you run the business, and it's all on you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't think being employed is any more secure these days as being self-employed, mind, because businesses struggle, businesses shut. But it's a different mindset to being an entrepreneur, and just a general business owner, because it is all on you. If you don't produce the goods, you don't get paid at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things on there as the entrepreneurial creature. You have to be adaptable. You have to be able to take the knocks. You have to have many coping strategies. You have to have some sort of bounce back ability, and all of that can be encapsulated in maybe even groups. Having is the word business club groups or something like that. It doesn't have to be the formal thing, but even setting up little hubs that maybe people that you work with in the same industry or different industries or different sectors or different professions, where you can actually bounce ideas off people, or tell people that there's been a bad day or there's been a good day, and celebrate the little wins, but not getting too down about the little negatives, because the little wins will be probably little, but the little knockbacks could be seen as being major, when in fact you take 2 or 3 steps back, they aren't actually that major. It's just the whole crap that's happening in the world at the moment, that you're just inside that bubble, and reaching out to others, and others kind of dissecting it with you, can show you that it's not actually as bad as it seems.
Yeah, the accountability groups, isn't it? And
Yeah,
I know we've been involved in some, we still are now, and it is good. But I think as long as you get the dynamic right, and you're there to share the problems, and everyone's there to listen, I think they're great tools,
yeah,
and it's something that we're going to be doing more of, and kind of opening our doors to business owners to kind of chat and get some things out in the open, because it's surprising when you start sharing ideas and sharing problems and pluses, minuses. It just kind of focuses everyone, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It just, so you don't feel it's so lonely, because sometimes you can think you're just banging your head against a brick wall when you're a business owner. And is it only me who has these problems? Because I'm seeing these people on social media and their businesses are flying, and there's a lot of that is BS you see on social media, because underneath the surface, there's a good chance that they're not doing as well as they're doing, or they've got all exactly the same struggles that you have. But
absolutely.
you have to show up each day. So take social media as a pinch of salt, because you have to show up. You've got to kind of play your A game, because otherwise no one's going to want your service. If your social media is all about you going, I've had a crap day, or this hasn't worked for me, and no one's going to want to work with you. You've got to you've got to show up and play your A game. Whether you actually feel like that. We have to do that. We have crap days, but you still got to, when you walk through that room to sit with that client and chat through what they've come to chat about, you got to play your A game, whether you like it
Absolutely.
or not. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's a mindset.
I think a lot of the stuff is mindset anymore. And like, we're chatting here, and I'm at home today, and the sun is beating through, and that to me is maybe maybe I is it sad or whatever. I'm absolutely buzzing today because I can see outside and the weather's lovely. But it's going to be a long day today of admin on here. I have a lot of work to do, but you know what? Part of the day, I'm going to reward myself, and there'll be a little win of, I'm going to jump on the bike. Yeah, you have to just celebrate those little things, because if you get bound down by all of the stuff in work and the negativity, like you said, you have to bring an A game to it. So you have to just re-energize yourself every now and again, however that may be, whether it be exercise, whether it be eating a piece of chocolate, whether it be ringing a family friend, a friend, whatever it may be, whether it be catch up, whatever it is. They're
Yeah.
almost like a reward system, because it isn't all rosy. And like you said, it's lonely if you're on your lonesome, and we're lucky we're not, and we bounce ideas off each other, sometimes crazy ideas, mostly from my side, but at least you have that way too. The sole entrepreneur is, it's a lonely place, and yeah, they might be rewarded handsomely if they build a widget that becomes superb, or they open up something, or they run a whatever sort of restaurant, whatever. But it is lonely, and nobody sees that, because sometimes they have to bring the A game. So yeah, you have to bring the A game, but on the other hand, it's okay to feel crap, reach out, speak to people, but also reward yourself when when you want to.
Yeah, exactly. But but it comes to this positives. You know, what I mean, we wouldn't do this if we didn't love it. I think if you're an
Yeah,
entrepreneur, you wouldn't do it unless you loved it. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be a few people out there who are slogging through it, even if they don't like it. But I think if you really hate what you're doing, though, you've got to change that. But yeah,
yeah,
100%. Like the sun's out, and I'm looking through the window here, and it's lovely out there. I'm actually gonna go and do probably like
Greg's
a 10, 15-minute walk, I think, out in the sun today, because it is nice, and that bit of vitamin D on the old body is great, and it just makes a huge difference. Like this weekend, it's just been such nice weather, and it does make a huge difference when the sun's out.
positivity, positivity, and you never know. Next week, after I get the all clear, and you're back after your your major op, we may be face to face again.
It's not a major op. It is an operation, but not a major op. I'll be all right. I'll
Anything
be
where somebody is doing anything to me is a major op, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true. But yeah, we'll get the band back together next week, and we'll kind of crack on. But in all seriousness, if anyone listening out there just wants to reach out, do you know what I mean? All our details are in the show notes, and you'll find us on social media. But doors always open. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're always willing to kind of chat to
And
anyone.
we're saying it because we have, what's the word, previous of this, because we have spoken to some business owners who we haven't transacted any work for. We haven't drafted anything finance wise, but they've reached out to us, and we've caught up with them. We've waited in regular contact with them. So it
Mm.
almost feels a bit of an accountability group with some of them groups now. So anyone that does feel that way, by all
Yeah.
means, please reach out. And to finish, I hope you're going to be as strong as Mr. Shears himself. I hear his operations of the past. He viewed his as he was under the knife. So are you gonna follow the good
I'm not doing
man's?
what my dad did. No, my dad watched both his hip replacements on screen. I don't know. Thank you. I'm fine. I'll just rely on the fact that they know what they're doing, because they're professionals and they know what they're doing.
Best of luck with it all. Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So as people are listening to this, you'll be under the knife.
Yeah, probably I will be, actually. Yeah, you're very right. There we are. Let's not dwell on that anymore. And we'll catch you all soon.